As you watch this video, you'll see I'm doing a sketch of one of my favorite paintings, Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh. Today is regarded as one of the world's greatest artists, but if you ask people about him beyond his art, all most people can tell you about him is that he cut off his own ear and sent it to a prostitute. That is so tragic. But then again, his life was tragic. Van Gogh actually started out training to be a Protestant pastor like his father. In 1876, he went to England to be an assistant at a school, and it was there that he experienced such poverty that it awakened his zeal for serving his fellow man. He served as a lay preacher and missionary in a poor coal mining town called Borinage, Belgium. In his zeal, he gave away his own worldly goods to the poor and was dismissed for his literal interpretation of Christ's teaching. Yes, folks, he was let go from his ministry for trying to follow Christ too closely. It gave him a crisis of faith, not so much in God, but in the church, and led him into what would be his life's work, art. In a short period of 10 years, Van Gogh made approximately 900 paintings, and you would say that's amazing, but the tragedy is that Van Gogh only sold one painting during his entire lifetime, and only became famous after his death. I wonder what would have happened to Van Gogh if the church had embraced his zeal. You might say we would have been missing some of the world's greatest art, but what would have his life been like? And how different would the world have been? Church, how we handle people matters. How we love people matters. The church's rejection of Van Gogh brought the world a great artist, but what did it cost the kingdom? A biographer, Skye Jethani, wrote this as the story behind Starry Night. The tortured artist also had a volatile relationship with Christianity, oscillating between devotion and rejection. At one time, his fervor was so intense he became a missionary. Later, he announced the God of the clergyman, he is for me as dead as a doornail, and called himself no friend of present-day Christianity. His paintings and letters show us a man wrestling to synthesize his faith with modern thought. But his struggle was primarily with the institutional church, not Christ. In his final years, as his mental illness became more severe, Van Gogh reveals a profound devotion to Jesus while remaining disillusioned with the church. His most celebrated painting from this period, Starry Night, captures this sentiment. The scene of a quiet hamlet beneath a churning sky of stars was composed from his imagination. For this reason, Starry Night depicts the vistas of Van Gogh's soul more than the countryside surrounding St. Remy, France. The deep indigo of the sky was used by Vincent to represent the infinite presence of God. The heavenly bodies are yellow, Van Gogh's color for sacred love. The divine light of the stars is repeated in the village below, every home illuminated with the same yellow warmth. For Vincent, God's loving presence in the heavens was no less real on the earth. But there is one building in Van Gogh's imaginary village with no light, no divine presence, the church. Its silent darkness speaks Van Gogh's judgment that the institutional church was full of icy coldness. Like many people today, Van Gogh struggled to find God in the confines of institutional programmatic religion. Instead, he found himself drawn outside the respectable piety of the church to commune with the peasants and the prostitutes. And his devotion to Christ was inspired by nature, the radiance of sunflowers, the knuckle contortion of olive trees, and the silent providence of the stars. I read this story and it saddens me as I wonder why Van Gogh might have been. But let's not take the wrong message away from it. The answer is not to leave the church. Hebrews 10:25 says, "Let us not give up meeting together as some are in the habit of doing, but let us encourage one another, and all the more as we see the day approaching." The answer is not to give up on the church. The answer is to turn the light on in the church. The answer is to refuse to be complacent and refuse ordinary dead religion and instead follow the living Jesus until the church is the light of the world it was created to be.